What's going on, everybody? How's it going? That's right. It is I, Solar Gray, your cinematic sorcerer, coming at you from a different room in the Wizard's Tower. As you guys can see, we've been doing a lot of upgrades and all that stuff here. And but with that, it's gonna be a little weird, I gotta say. But thank you and welcome to the dark side of the room. This is where you guys get to hear part of my story as far as what it means to be a nerd of color. Now, this channel is for the intersectional geek. That means race, religion, creed, gender identity, sexual orientation, disability, and let's not forget the fiscally disenfranchised, because I'm out for you guys. That's actually where my intersectionality comes in. I'm cis-het black male, okay? But I grew up poor, I'm pretty poor now, and that's the whole thing. So, if you guys look back at the playlist, you guys will see, like, my story from the age of, like, 13 on, but there's a lot of stuff that's been going on. But before we get to all the stuff that has been going on, I got to remind you guys of a few other things. Thank you guys for showing up. We've been getting a few subscribers to this channel, and that has been awesome. As you guys know, we have a contest. Yay, contest going. And with that contest, we are giving away prizes because that is just how we roll on that one. And yeah, so how am I gonna put this in a nutshell? I'm pulling up the photos right now. Over on that wretched hive of scum and villainy that you guys effectively know, or affectionately know as the Facebook. You can join our group, Deckers on the Book, where we are, oh wait, wrong. We hit 100 subscribers or 100 patrons. We're going to have a raffle. And I'm going to roll a D1000, essentially. That's the way that that's going to go. And when I roll the D1000, I am going to pick the corresponding subscriber and all that to that numbers, and they are going to get one of 4 prizes, being the Ninja Turtles expansion for Zombicide. This was a convention exclusive, and the guys over at IDW were nice enough to help us out there by donating some of those for you guys. So we're gonna do that. They donated 3, which means there are 3 chances to grab one of these things. So when we hit 100 on Patreon, 1,000 on Twitch, and 1,000 on YouTube, I'm gonna have one of these rollings, and you have your choice of winning. 1 Cthulhu Dice Tower made by Backinthedeck, and this is, honestly, they're going to be for sale in the store, but if you subscribe, you might get one for free, so you know. Our Angel Dice Tower, we have been working really hard on that. This is our Angel of the Sacred Passing, and yeah, and of course, we are going to be dealing with, we've been doing a lot of stuff with dungeon tiles and dice and all that jazz. And I'll have some more pictures of that stuff for you guys later on. But yeah, with that. But how do you join the contest? You might be asking. Oh, well, I'm glad that you did ask, because that is a good thing to do as far as asking goes. And that's easy. All you have to do is head on over to patreon.com/BID_P. And for as little as $1 a month, you'll get access to all of our archive. Isn't that fun? And if you guys don't have the dollar to spend, I totally understand. You're here on YouTube right now. Thank you. Subscribe to YouTube. And of course, head on over to twitch.tv/BID_P, and you will totally be able to watch our live stuff and all that stuff transferred over on twitch.tv/BID_P. And with that, you know, we do shows, at least 2 shows a week over there, and we have a decent archive, and it's a really cool community of people that are there helping us out, and you guys get to join in Peace City. Now, here is the thing, and this is one of the big things. I know what you guys are thinking. There's a whole lot of advertising. Well, what if I don't want to do all that stuff? Well, seriously, this is what we're doing to keep the doors open and the lights on. I mean, we pay a hefty amount here, and by we I mean me. And but that is a real thing. But I understand where you're coming from on that. And so this is what I'm going to ask you to do. If you guys have questions or comments about any of that jazz, let me put on. Hey, look at that. I got my music back. All right, this is awesome. Just pull up a keyboard and type in backinthedeck at gmail.com. That's BACKINTHEDECK at gmail.com. Thank you for showing up on YouTube. We've gotten a few more subscribers, and I really appreciate all you guys. Follow our social media on Twitter and, of course, on Instagram, both at backinthedeck. And, of course, as I showed you guys, join that wretched hive of scum and villainy known as Deckers on the Book. Now, if you guys are really digging a lot of our stuff and you want to see the stuff that we have been up to for years, then guess what? You guys have one other really cool option. You can head on over to our SoundCloud and check out our audio archives. We have been doing this stuff for years and years. And once you guys are there, you have the option of downloading everything that's there for free to keep for the rest of your life, because we're that kind of kind. But either way, if you guys have any questions or comments, or you guys want to hit me up, that's perfectly fine. Just head on over to any of the places that you see right here. Hit us up on Gmail or on Twitter or on Instagram and all that stuff. Now, let's get back to this. Now, there's a couple of things that I wanted to talk to you guys about. And this has been tough. This whole thing, this has been very tough for me. As you guys know, this weekend, if you live in the continental United States, this weekend has not been anything nice, man. This has not been a good weekend for a lot of people. This weekend has been tough. It's been really tough. Over the past 9 days, we've had 3 mass shootings. Now, as you guys who follow the show regularly know, I grew up in South Central Los Angeles during the gang violence that inspired all those movies like Boys in the Hood and Juice and South Central and Baby Boy and Friday and all that stuff. I grew up around drive-bys. There were mass shootings at my schools when I was growing up, all over the place. It was one of those things that I never thought that any kid should ever have to grow up in. And they're happening all over the place. We're averaging 2 a week in the United States. And I know this is a big country. There's a lot of land. But we're averaging 2. And just every 7 days, there's another couple, and this is getting bad. And one of the things that I've noticed, and maybe you guys can hit me up on that. Well, we're going to be talking about a couple of things, and this is something that's reflective of the nerd community as a whole, be it nerds in games, nerds in comics, just pretty much. This one is about, well, number one, every show is dedicated to you guys, every single one. But these 2 shootings over the past week, this has been messed up. Messed up because if you guys are geeks and nerds and teenagers, if you guys are in this niche market, then there's something that you guys understand completely. And that is what it feels like to be othered. Okay? Oh, no, you're a nerd. You're not supposed to be oh, well, hey, you're a girl and you like comic books? You can't do that. You're a boy, you like comic books. Well, that's just nerd stuff. Throw him in his locker, give him a wedgie, beat him up, that kind of thing. Everybody has been othered at some point in their lives. Be it, a lot of bullies they become bullies because they get othered by their family. That has been a condition of civilization since one hairy dude hit another hairy dude with with a bone or a rock or however it happened. That hasn't. That's not the conversation we're having. The conversation we're having is that right now, in the country that I live in the land in which I was born, there are people with guns looking to end the life of others. Okay, if you've been othered, it's there was a shooting in Texas just 2 days, no, 3 days ago, 3 days ago in El Paso, and this guy went looking for Latinos. He went looking for brown people. He literally picked up a lot of guns and went looking to end the lives of people that looked other than European. That's big and that's scary. If you guys are watching this and not just listening on SoundCloud, you guys know I'm a little darker than European, but I don't look Middle Eastern, nor do I look typically South American. Okay, and this is a big thing. A lot of the gun nuts that are toting around, yeah, I called it. I said gun nut. People with guns who go nuts and start shooting up public places. And you know what? I get it. I understand. I've pretty much got a wizard's PhD in anger, but anger's easy. Anger is super, super easy. It's really easy to be mad. Okay? It's really easy to pull a network and be like, I'm mad as heck and I'm not going to take it anymore. It's really easy to do that. Super, super easy. But as an adult, we have a responsibility to show the people that aren't as old as we are, haven't been interacting with people for as long as we have, how it's done. And spraying bullets into somewhere that doesn't have anybody spraying bullets out of somewhere is not the way to do it. Okay? It's not. I grew up with this. I grew up with people settling their differences with gunfire, and it doesn't work. All that happens are dead bodies, crying parents, and crying children. Oh, and blood. Lots and lots of blood. Okay, that's not the answer. That's not the answer to a debate. And you know what? I don't care if I get blown up. Freaking bring it, all right? I don't care if I'm called a snowflake or a leftist or a communist or whatever. I know that guns have been part of this country ever since you've been... Yeah, I get it, okay? I understand that that's part of history. But the funny thing about history is that history, by its definition, is our documentation of events that happen in time. Events that happen over the passing of time. Which means as time moves forward, different things happen. Now, for those of you guys that are new to the channel, the Wizard's Tower here, with a different view of the library, is in Southern California. I built it in Southern California. I built it in LA County, okay? And the funniest thing about that is that it's always spring or summer here. So it's easy to think that we're locked in time because we don't get snow, we don't get that much rain. Again, hot, sunny. We're just lizard people laying out by pools, talking about our next audition and worried about what our headshots are going to look like. That's us. That's the whole thing. But that doesn't mean that time doesn't pass. And when time passes, different things happen. And this is my argument about guns being part of history and our rights and all that stuff. I get it. And I get that nobody wants to give up the guns that they have. I understand. Okay, but the conversation isn't about ownership. It isn't about whether or not you are a good person. It's what do we do to keep tens of people from being shot dead by these people who are disturbed and finger quote, troubled or mentally ill. How do we keep dozens of people. We're talking 30 dead over the course of the weekend. How do we keep that from happening? Okay, how do we stop it? Now, there isn't one solution. People are complicated. Life is complicated. Welcome to adulthood. All right? But I grew up watching people get riddled with bullets. There wasn't a day that went by that I would go home from school wondering if it was my time. And as I left that neighborhood and I went into the suburbs of Southern California that are known for their police officers that are hostile to people who are as dark as I am. And as many times as I've had my face pressed into the ground and boots on the back of my neck and guns pulled on me for trying to find out what was going on at my apartment as I was going home from work, I'm tired. I am really tired of how over the course of my life, over my 42 years on this planet, in the culture that I live in, life has started to mean so little. When did life become so cheap to people that we write off the fact that dozens of people get killed with military-grade weapons every other week? When? I mean, growing up where I grew up, it was easy to think that nobody cared about us. Okay, we were disenfranchised. We still are. You know, even to this day. My cousin, less than a month ago, saw 5 police officers kill a man in his car in the parking lot of a gated apartment building. My family watched that. And my cousin is like 12. Okay, and you know what? His only fear was that the police were coming for him next. All right? That is the world that we have come to live in. This happened. You can look it up. I'm not going to leave any links just for the sanctity of the privacy of my family. All right? But a few days ago, we're talking what? Friday, shooting in El Paso, Texas. Saturday, shooting in Dayton, Ohio. Sunday, 5 people get sprayed in Chicago. And what do we do about it? Thoughts and prayers? Thoughts and praying didn't help the slaves get emancipated in the 1700s. Praying did not get women the right to vote. And God knows, in the United States of America, praying did not get us independence from the British. We didn't pray. We fought. We came up with an idea. We stuck to it. We took action. As a people. As a people. We weren't thinking about things. We weren't praying. You know, and honestly, I'm tired. I'm just tired of this senseless killing. You know, I really am. I don't know what to do individually. I don't. This is one of the reasons I play games. This right here. This is one of the reasons that I write stories and I talk to you guys and I have my friends gather around a table, because sometimes we just need a break. We need a break from 15 people getting sprayed down by some crazy dude spouting white supremacist stuff. We need a break from yet another death over drug selling territory. We need a break from yet another unarmed child being killed by the people who are supposed to protect us. So we write stories. That's what we do. We write stories. We go to these fantasy worlds. Again, I often come back to this point where people from my neck of the woods, we prefer science fiction over fantasy, because we don't flash back to a magical day in the past to where everybody looked European except for the people with pointy ears, and even they looked European just with pointy ears and almond eyes. And we're traipsing through the forest killing dragons. We dig the sci-fi thing because we look forward to a future where things could be different. Where things, if things on this planet go to crap, we can at least imagine going to another planet and starting over with the lessons that we've learned here on how not to do it. That's what we'd like. That is literally what we'd like. That is the hope. That is the plan. Again, I'm not gonna cry on camera because I'm on YouTube and I don't want this being looked at as some sort of flaming emotional outcry. But I grew up in this and I'm tired. Okay? I'm tired of it. I'm tired of the violence. I'm tired of the death. And even more than any of that, I'm tired of the hypocrisy. Okay? I'm sick and tired of the hypocrisy. I have dealt over the course of my life with the consequences of being marginalized over and over and over again over the course of my life. And I'm a middle-aged man. Okay? I'm tired of it. I'm tired of the hypocrisy of making 100 excuses for a dude that says the people that are from this country are terrorists. The people that are from this country are criminals. The ones that are from this country, anybody that doesn't look like me is beneath me. That is racism. And I'm sorry to tell you this, but if those are the reasons that people are grabbing automatic weapons and shooting random seeming people in a store, then it's racism. It's just plain toxic, dangerous racism. And this is not something that people want to look at. But here's the thing. Hang on. Racism, to be racist, doesn't mean that you are a bad person. It just means that there is something about you that doesn't work in the way that you need it to work to be a functioning human being. It doesn't mean you're bad. Okay, being racist is like having a cold. Are you a bad person for sneezing? No. You have a virus. That is it. That is all. And unfortunately, this disease is something that's baked so deeply into the fabric of our culture that it's hard to know where to stop. It's hard to know where to stop it. I understand. It's overwhelming. Where do you start? And I'm going to tell you right now. You start by recognizing it, calling it what it is, and stopping it where you can. When the news only talks about people of color like Latinos, you know, when the Latinx people are coming here seeking asylum because they're afraid for their lives, and we start to say, well, they might be criminal, so let's put them in concentration camps and take their children. Call that what it is. Just call it that. That is racism. When people hide behind stuff saying, well, they should just come here legally. Sorry to tell you, but because of the Asylum Act, that goes back before World War II. Showing up here scared for your life saying, I'm afraid to go home because the government or the criminals there will kill me, please help, that is legal. And it has been legal for almost 100 years. That is the legal way to come here. You know, and it's the lack of that knowledge. It's the lack of taking that and internalizing that makes people say okay when we start doing these horrible things. Okay? And the hypocrisy on that. The hypocrisy of saying these people that are actually following a law that I may not know like the back of my hand, but Since I think they're breaking the law, and they need to be punished for it, is the exact same thing as calling the police on a person of color because you think they're trying to steal your car, when in reality, you don't know what they're doing. I mean, come on. Again, it's been a weekend. It's been a weekend. And I really didn't want this to be like a political rant or anything like that, but things are messed up right now. Okay, I'm over here on the dark side of the room, and it's looking a lot brighter than the rest of the world right now. And sorry to tell you, that's not a good thing. That really isn't. Um, the other part of the hypocrisy that I'm upset about is it's time for anyone watching this video to speak up and say something about the difference between people who show up with automatic weapons and mow down tens of people, giving themselves up to the police, or being taken into custody, being handcuffed, being arrested, and being tried, while at the same time people that look like me are shot dead in the street over the way a police officer might feel about them. I felt in danger for my life. That's why I had to put 30 bullets into the chest of this 16-year-old. That's why I had to chokehold this dude selling cigarettes on the street until he died, using something that should have, according to the law books, according to allowed and not allowed procedure in the New York Police Department's book of what to do and what not to do, an illegal chokehold that kills somebody on the street, oh, that's fine. And you might be sitting up there saying, stop your internal monologue right now. Stop it. All right? The fact that the person who took a life of someone that didn't have any weapons, served no jail time, didn't lose their job, didn't get a pay cut, didn't even get suspended. Okay? They got time off of work that was still paid. All of those actions add up to the definition of allowed. If it wasn't allowed, he would have gotten his pay cut. If it wasn't allowed, he would have been fired. If it wasn't allowed, he would have gone to jail. Okay, back in 1992, my city had a riot because of this. And you know what's happened since? 4 more riots over this stuff. And what do? People look for excuses as to why these unarmed people need to die. And you might not say, well, no, we're not saying that he had to die. Yes, you are, because they died. While you say, thug. All right, and this one goes out to Ben Shapiro. Fuck your mouth. I know this is a kid's channel, but every time you invoke Trayvon Martin, you're saying that he deserved to die. And you know what? That child who was being stalked by a man with a gun did not deserve to be shot. You're saying that he got what he deserved because he beat up the dude that started the fight. If that is the case, if that is honestly the case, then with all of the violence that your words have excited, you deserve at least jail time. Okay? Because Trayvon may have made Zimmerman feel threatened. And if he made Zimmerman feel threatened, and Zimmerman killed him, and according to you, he deserved it, then your words and your point of view makes thousands of people feel threatened every day. Every day. And I don't care if you attack me. I don't care if you come after me. You can't ruin me. Because all I'm doing is telling the truth, and I don't have that much for you to tear down. Sorry. Okay? But I'm tired. I'm so tired of this country This country that touts being one of the best countries on earth, being filled with people that find excuses for children to be killed, for children to be put in cages. Just can we at least back off on the kids? Can we at least agree to do that? I mean, these kids, these are children. The Central Park Five, Trayvon Martin, all of these people who are not old enough to vote, let alone serve military service, and will never be. Can we at least agree that they deserve to at least become old enough to vote? Anyway. Sorry, I didn't mean to go supernova on you guys, okay? I really didn't. It's just... there are people in my family, people in my friends' family, my friends, who are all affected by this every day. Every single one of us are affected by this every day. Not to mention the fact that tomorrow it could be you. If you're part of the disenfranchised sector, if you're poor, or you're not conventionally suburban looking, if you're not thin, if you're not tall, if you're not in the gym for 9 hours a day because you've got to do this crazy thing called work, as soon as somebody thinks that you don't belong, this could happen to you. Heaven forbid if your skin is brown, or you're not a Christian, or you're not even the right kind of Christian. You know, before Kennedy, it wasn't cool to be Catholic. Okay? Seriously. Okay? And they're Christian? Yeah, well, what's going on? I need to take a break. I need to I need to take a breath. Let's check in on NP City. Let's see what NP City's going. Hey guys, what's going on? All right. One of my favorite patrons are there. Woohoo! Yeah. Yeah, I know. I'm not talking about that Ben Shapiro. I have a friend named Ben Shapiro, but I'm talking about that little dude that makes every person who claims to be an Orthodox Judeo follower really look bad to anybody who doesn't know that synagogues are open to the public. Okay, so yeah, that is where I'm at. Again, let's talk about some gaming. Okay. The reason that I work so hard in gaming, the reason that I do this, is because there are too many people that are growing up in these horrors, just like I did. I don't know what to do to stop it. I don't know what to do to stop mass shootings. I don't know what to do to even start the conversation. I don't know how to make people stop vilifying anyone that doesn't look like they belong to the Osmond family. And this is not a slight on the Osmonds. I actually think that they're pretty cool. Specifically Donnie and Marie. I like the Osmonds very much. They're a cool family. But this country has this idea, or at least this country really seems like it has the idea that if you don't pass for an Osmond, you're a threat. When did the top military power on the planet become that scared? I mean, seriously. When did we become so frightened that anybody that doesn't look like a suburbanite, middle-class, white person that goes to the gym and eats right all the time is dangerous? Okay, it's one thing if people are othered in a way that says you can't sit at my lunch table. But now we're justifying their imprisonment and their death. So I work with kids. I work with kids to help them write down what they're feeling, to point them through a lot of these scenarios, to help them actually solidify what it is they're feeling and talking about it in safe environments, or if anything else, help them pretend just for a few hours that they are somewhere else, that they can be wizards or engineers or scientists, because that's how I got to where I am. That's why I was able to finish college, because I could imagine something other than where I came from. You know, I could imagine being in the suburbs one day. Now I'm trying to imagine liking the suburbs, but that's a different episode. I can imagine being somewhere else. I can imagine being more than I am. And when I deal with a lot of the people that I deal with, a lot of the kids, a lot of the disenfranchised, it takes a lot to imagine being normal when you grow up being othered. And right now, our system from the very top down, I'm speaking specifically about our commander-in-chief and our chief lawmakers, have othered most of us. And these are the results. You know, this much death are the results. This much imprisonment of people trying to just get away from being killed. That's the result. And I realize a lot of people are scared. I realize it's a not in my backyard thing. But I'm reaching out my hand from someone who grew up scared, whose life was actually in danger for most of my childhood. I didn't know if I was going to live or die. For someone who has lost a third of their friends to death, another third to imprisonment, I know what you're afraid of. I've lived it. So I started Back in the Deck. I started Back in the Deck to reach out to all of the people who were scared like that. And I'm reaching out to y'all in the suburbs to let you know that the stuff that you're afraid of is real. It is real. But it's not as bad as you're imagining. Your wonderfully powerful minds with all that intelligence has grabbed on really hard to some ideas that aren't practically true. You know, they're really not. And with that practicality, I want to reach out to that practicality just to say, look, if you look outside right now, chances are no one's trying to steal your car. Okay? Chances are, if you see a black person on the street, they're just going somewhere just like you. If you see a Latino just hanging out one day, chances are they got a job. Sometimes they got family. I guarantee they're part of a family. You know, they're not looking to do you harm. Customs might be different. Okay, there is a sect of people. I realize that you're afraid that someone is intending to hurt you. Hang on, still streaming. You might have to reload the page. Let me. Copy, paste here. Just double checking over here. Interesting. Oh. Hang on. This should be doing it. And reloading the page. All right, yeah. Says my live stream is offline. Reloading the page again. Nope, I am still uploading. Well, I think YouTube might have messed me up here. Oh, okay. And we're back. Cool. And we're back. All right. So, as I was saying, I know you guys are afraid. I get it. I know you're afraid that people want to do you harm. But take it from someone who grew up with people that a lot of people want it to do harm. It's not always the case. It's not always the case. Matter of fact, it's very rarely the case. Um, yeah, that, I mean, people are people, and at the end of the day, we all want the same things. We want to be secure in our shelter, in our food, and we all want a better world for our children. We also would like some good stuff for ourselves. I get that. All right? I believe that we're really on our way. And every game I run, where my characters are the guys fighting for a better world, and, you know, they have a possibility of doing it. They have a possibility of making a better world. You know, just that imagination, that joy, that piece of childhood that says, you know what? More than this is possible. And since more than this is possible, let's do more than this. All right? So yeah. But I didn't mean to rant this hard. I really didn't. Thank you guys for showing up. Super, super big thank you to the guys over at MP City, you know. But yeah, so this has been the show. My music is coming up. I'm being played off. And yeah, that's what we're doing. So I'll tell you guys what. When you guys have the time, or you guys want to comment or talk to me about this stuff, and if you really want to talk to me about this stuff in good faith, I'll totally have the conversation. All you got to do is reach out at, wrong one. Yeah, at backinthedeck@gmail.com. That's BACKINTHEDECK @gmail.com. Thank you guys for showing up on YouTube. Thank you to all my new subscribers out there. You guys are really, really, like, seriously doing it good. You guys are doing it good. And thank you guys for showing up. Follow us on Twitter at backinthedeck. You can also find us on Instagram at backinthedeck. You know, join Deckers on the Book. And again, if you guys like what we're doing and where we're hanging out and all that stuff, then feel free to head on over to patreon.com/BID_P. And for as little as $1 a month, join all that stuff. And of course, you guys will get entry into the contest where we are going to be giving away some really cool stuff. What kind of cool stuff? Well, I'm glad you asked. Like I said, we're giving away dice towers. Hey, look at these dice towers. These things are fun. We're giving away Ninja Turtles miniatures, and that they do include all 4 Ninja Turtles, along with Shredder and Krang and Bebop and Rocksteady. So even if you guys don't play Zombicide, that's cool. These minis are actually pretty cool to have. Just show up down there. And I want to say a super big thank you to my 2 prime patrons, being Paul Mansfield and Shannon Boomlay. Thank you guys for really showing the support and helping us keep the lights on. Again, we're doing some changes around here. We're really trying to make that work. But in the meantime, if you guys have any questions or comments or anything like that, just hit us up at these places. And remember, if anybody tells you you can't like what you like because of the circumstances of your birth, your race, religion, creed, gender identity, sexual orientation, your disability, or your budget, you just tell those guys that we said to take those cards and put them back in the deck. This is Silver Gray, the Cinematic Sorcerer, saying thank you guys, and we will see you next week on the dark side of the room.